Oh,
Tyler, it's happened again.
you caught me.
We're live already. We've already had like a good conversation started before we hit record again. So
Are we recording now?
we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's exciting. Good
Hopefully.
morning. How are you guys today?
Very good.
We're doing awesome.
Good.
We have people here.
Yeah, friends.
Usually you're on this side. I'm on your side, and now it's all discombobulated.
I'm all backwards.
I'm
I'm reading
confused.
right to left
Yeah.
to right to left now.
Like even my camera angles.
And you're not pretending anymore. There's real people here now.
I know. We have
Super-
to. Do we have to behave? We'll see.
I have to react in real time to people.
There's there's no delay.
We're super excited to have with us Monica Watson from Blossom Dental Consulting. Welcome, Monica.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, one of our favorite guests, Mr. Mauritz Lundt. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Because I noticed that sometimes I say Lundt, but it's pronounced Lundt, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm easy. I'm respond.
He won't tell you if it's wrong because I think I say it wrong every time.
I got used to it. I've been in Canada for 11 years now. Anything goes. I'm okay.
You're good with it.
Yeah.
Mauritz
So
Lundt
do
is-
we get right into rugby then? Like,
Oh, why not? Why not?
I'm just kidding.
It's like it doesn't take long for us to get to the rugby conversation with our South African friends.
Yeah.
So Mauritz Lundt is the office manager of JVR Dental in Walnut Grove, Langley. Making sure my coffee cup, you can see that there. No,
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
kidding. Put that right in front of it. JVR Dental, you guys opened in, I'm going to say 2016,
Yes.
correct? Here in Walnut Grove, Langley. One of the most prolific, most amazing success stories in dental I think I've ever seen.
Thank you, sir.
And I know it sounds like I'm, kind of hyping it up, but like what you guys have done at that practice is like nothing short of amazing.
Give yourself a little pat on the back, I guess.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's because we met the right people early and
Yeah.
the right time of our journey.
Yeah.
That pointed us or guided us to make the right wise choices in the beginning. So that was very helpful.
It's people, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And initially we thought, and Liana definitely thought that when she opened the office, that everything is about what's going inside the office. But we quickly realized that, no, it's more than that. There's people outside the office that has great influence on what you're doing on the inside, which is,
They can have an impact.
yeah.
But also like having the allowing yourself to listen. I think to the people and maybe the criticisms or the blinders focus isn't always the best choice.
Yeah. But just surround yourself with amazing people just makes all of it very, very much easier.
I'm still trying.
Still trying.
I'm kidding.
2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of thing.
Yeah.
So as you may or may not know, thank you. We have pivoted this segment, this part of our podcast, and we've renamed it. Mark, do you want to give me a graphic?
I don't. And usually I do this.
It's like the Christmas graphic.
It is kind of Christmassy.
It's nice. It's all right. Just put it right
There
over
you
my
go.
face. Thanks,
There
Mark.
you go.
So the question we have at the top of this podcast is always, will this bring value to my dental practice? And that's a big part of why we have Monica with us today. So Monica, it's super great to meet you. I've heard wonderful things about you and what you do for practitioners. So I just sort of want to preface it. We can get back into the banter and the fun, but I just sort of want to, if you're watching or if you're listening along, the tone today is going to be, centered around a great study club you guys are doing at JVR. And just sort of finding out a little bit more about that study club and a little bit more about what Blossom Dental Consulting is and sort of how you guys are working together to create value for the practice for JVR Dental. So jumping right in, you guys have a great...
That's how we do it, right? Just
I did.
let's get into the deep. You did it.
Deep
I
end.
jumped in.
Yeah.
I did it. Whew. It's nice. It's warm.
Is it cold?
The water's great. So jumping in, so tell us, take us back to the start, sort of what's the genesis of the study club?
Yeah, that's a great question because it really did have a moment where the thought came to my mind. Several years ago, I was in a administrative 2-day seminar. It was Patty Briggs that was teaching it, who's a dental consultant, and Benita Sani. I think I'm saying her name correctly. So they're both presenting. It was 2-day, Friday and Saturday. So I was in a room all day with other peers. They were receptionists, administrators, office managers. And I just had such a great feeling of I loved connecting with them. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I had this regularly instead of one off, like once in a while when something came up. So I was looking around. I said, what's out there for administrators? Because there's associations and things for hygienists, CDAs, dentists. There's nothing that exists to support the administrative side of dentistry, which is an important part of dentistry.
Of course, yeah.
So, and just like looking for what's out there, I discovered there's not a whole lot. Yeah. There's a few things, but there's not a whole lot. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to create something.
And so, you and I were talking about this like a year ago.
Yeah,
I think, right?
met, you know what? Because you posted something on LinkedIn. Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but it resonated with me. And I'm like, I need to like connect with this smart person because it would. I wish I could remember. I could probably look back and see, but something you had said, I'm like, I like this person. This person's forward thinking, and I'm like, I want to connect with you. So we did. So now we became LinkedIn friends. And then I thought I need to start something like a study club where we can meet with our peers and talk about issues, challenges, things that are going well. So I didn't know how to do it, and I'm kind of rookie learning how to start something that I was doing on my own. So I pretty much started.
Good for you, though.
I started cold calling offices.
Yeah.
And Mauritz was one of the first offices I called. And this was probably, you were office manager for a year by then?
Yeah, about a year, yeah.
And so your receptionist got you on the phone. And I was basically, this is Monica from Blossom Dental Consulting. I just kind of started it from its infancy. And I said, I'm wanting to start a study club. Are you interested in joining it for office managers? And right away, he's so keen. He's like a sponge. He wants to learn.
Totally.
And he was open-minded. Yeah. And he's like, and I'm like, oh, okay. Because I mean, I had a lot of no's or maybe. But
gotta love cold calling.
I know. I'm like, I'm not a salesperson.
That's why I say that. Like just picking up that phone, like having the courage to pick up the phone and saying, I may have a compelling solution for you.
But you've got something. Like there's a definite need there, and if you're passionate about it, that's a good combo.
That's like all I had was like a desire and like a will. Okay, this is going to happen. If I just thought if I connect with the right people, we can create something. And I tell Maurice all the time, I'm so grateful for you because he's so keen and supportive, and he's there every month when we have it. And sometimes there's just 5 of us in the study club, and.
So this is ongoing.
Yeah. We've been doing this for 2 years now, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But her timing with that first phone call was actually perfect because, as I said, I've been with the office about a year by then. And for the first time, I got a phone call that was for me. Somebody wanted to talk to me, not to the dentist, not to somebody else. It was for me.
You're important.
And they say, you want to belong to something for you? I said, I'm all in.
Yeah. You're my MVP. All right?
Here's my chips.
But I mean, I've been out there. I've done the cold call and for various different companies.
We've all had to do
in the industry. But really, I just went to Todd's in the interior, and I did like a loop. I went, Penticton.
For anyone who's listening, it's the Thompson Okanagan Dental System.
Yeah. So I saw probably around 100 practices, and I asked the front desk, "Are you heading into Todd's?" And their response was, well, I don't know. It's like there's nothing really there for us.
Or of value for me.
Yes. Well,
what's of value for you?
You did it.
Yeah, that's the key word, right?
So it's so true. And as we know, the front end is the heart. Like, and if that engine isn't running and isn't supported and not listened to or have the tools that they need to run that practice, essentially what you're looking at is a bucket with holes in it. So empowering the front end is crucial to the success of the practice. I think a lot of dentists, they just don't know where to start. So so you've got the study club. So talk to us about that. Like where does somebody start as a clinician, as a business owner?
That was my question. So it's called the Dental Office Manager Study Club. Yeah. So tell us about the beginning. What
Okay,
what was the
so
first study club group?
what my goal was for the study club, because I think, okay, dentists go to school for so long to learn clinical skills, and then they become business owners, and a lot of them don't have business skills, and they're not really sure what happens at the front desk. A lot of dentists don't know what their administrators are doing all day, and they're busy, and they're getting people calling, coming through the door, coming from the back. They're getting interrupted, and they're getting people coming from all angles, and the dentist wants to support them, but I want to empower the administrators to be proud of their work, to be able to have tools and resources to really do a great job, so that the dentist can train them, trust them, and then go back to the operatory and do the dentistry they love, and feel confident that their front end office is rocking and rolling. So it's really supporting the dentist through supporting the administrators.
Yeah, it's again, it's the engine of the practice, and I've seen it a lot where there's a major disconnect in between the back of the house and the front, and then the blame game happens, and it's a really ugly environment.
Yeah.
And Monica, I know you may have already mentioned this, but so was your background before this? Were you?
Oh, yeah.
admin?
I started out in 2000. I was a receptionist. I went to BCIT to take that program, and then the teacher called me back, and I ended up doing like teacher assisting for 2 semesters afterwards. So right from the beginning, as soon as I got into the industry, I was wanting to help the up and comers and support them. So I kind of always had that mentality of, let's keep learning. Like the learning doesn't stop when you finish the program for reception. It's ongoing. So
let's talk about this. Like, what, in terms of programs, schooling, I was actually just down in Seattle with some good friends and with a group of chiropractors. And they're in the same boat. Like, it seems like there's sort of a disconnect and a lack of support and education and training for medical front end, specifically.
And veterinary.
What that's part of it.
Optometry.
Yeah, optometry, chiropractor, the works, and it's kind of
Dental's not alone. Yeah,
they're not alone. In BC, what's the best place to go? Like, where's the best place to go get schooling, training?
Oh, you're asking me to pick. Well, I'm biased to BCIT.
Well, yeah. So
they have a great administrative course. Erin McCaffrey's a teacher there. She's been teaching she taught me back in 2000. I think they started in the late 90s. And I just connected with her this year, and she's still going. And then UFV has a program too, and I've had a hire from there. Brenda, I remember reaching out in a phone call to her and just telling her how impressed I was with the program, some of the activities that they were doing and projects that they were working on. And then I know right now UFV hired a consultant to review their course to make sure that everything's being covered and that they're on point. So these courses that are being offered that I've had interactions with, I know that they're putting a lot of effort to bring out great new employees and staff members for dentists. But again, there's a shortage in employees. Like, it's hard to hire. Yeah. It's hard to get great team members. But one of our best team members didn't come from dentistry at all. So I worked with a dentist, and she every lunch hour she'd go out and get someone to make her a sandwich at a shop in the block, and she was so impressed with the person making her sandwich that we ended up hiring her to be a receptionist, because she had great customer service. And we just taught her how to do dentistry. You can teach. It's not too complicated.
Over training, right?
So hire for attitude.
100%. I was just going to say.
And you can train them, because they are keen. They're like, Mauritz, you want to learn. You're an engineer, right? Like, you're not in dentistry at all to begin with.
Dentist person at all. So if I can be taught, I'm 100% sure so anybody else can.
You're hiring too. So, like, what's your, like, you run a fantastic practice here, and it's Surrey, I guess, right? Or is it Langley? I always make it's
Walnut Grove is not Surrey. It's Langley.
And for those outside of the Lower Mainland, what's the border? It's 196.
196.
Okay, yeah.
We're on 202, so close to the
You're
border,
in,
but
you're,
not
yeah,
yet.
yeah. So am I. I'm on 200. So, anyways, I'm closer. You like
So that's a long running joke. Our Surrey Langley debate. That's why I'm like, it's not Surrey. Nothing against Surrey.
No, I know. Yeah.
Carry on.
I'm in huge trouble now.
Yeah.
So doing the hiring, like let's talk about this. Like bringing people into the fold. What are you looking for?
So, Mark, very good question. And we had to learn the hard way, especially in the administrative area. First of all, I think when we started the office, we didn't really understand how important that role is, that administrative reception role. So as years went on and we learned, we now understand how important it is. So we've developed our skills on hiring and getting the people. And I feel for the schools, because they have to be so generic to try and cover as much bases as they can. But as soon as that new grad steps into a dental office, every dental office operates differently.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, everything they've learned at school is out the window, and they have to learn how this office functions now.
Right.
So they can still do the basics, but to really do it, so that it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Just as a personal story, our first receptionist that we hired was a new grad. So here she comes as a new grad into a new office where the dentist and the rest of the support team had no idea how to support her.
Yeah.
So she was lovely. She worked with us for 3 years. She figured things out. She cried a lot, but she manned up and she took on the challenge. Then I feel really bad for not supporting her. So we took it on ourselves, Liana and I, that we will never hire a front desk person again without supporting them properly.
So what do you systems in place so the system's not trainable. So let's talk about this.
How do you get past
so
that?
why was she isolated? Why was she on an island? That's important. Like, I want to know what happened there.
First of all, I don't think we didn't have the systems in place.
Okay.
In the beginning.
Right.
So she had to figure out insurances. She was on the phone constantly with the insurances and asking for guidance and help and
learning as she went. Right. Like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
How do I do it predetermination?
Even ClearDent support. Liana knew the basics, especially on the charting side for ClearDent, but on the administrative side, she knew nothing.
Right.
So this poor receptionist was with ClearDent on the phone all the time. Now we have the things in place. If we hire a new receptionist, I spent at least 2 solid days in the beginning just to onboard them and talk all about JVR Dental, how we function, how we operate. And then I spend the rest of a week, it depends, 2 weeks with them on actual ClearDent training and system training. How do we do recalls? How do we do predeterminations? All the basic stuff that I dedicate my time just to do that for that 2-3 weeks that we're onboarding.
So this miss now. So herein lies the opportunity, right? Yes. So how are we helping folks out there that have team members on an island?
Is this kind of where you entered the equation?
Yeah, I for sure, because I've done that. I've opened up a practice where they had 0 patients, 0 protocols, 0 systems, and you had to create it. So, and there's nothing like learning when you're creating from scratch. Yeah. And I think what some offices can do is have a consultant or someone that knows what they're doing and come in, because it takes a lot of time to set up EDI and set up all the systems and protocols and what do you do in the morning. So there's a lot of time invested in kind of doing all the foundation work, and once that's and it's worth spending the time doing it, because then things run smoothly. You can't expect someone to succeed if you don't give them the tools for success. And
Monica, to add to that, it's not necessarily the dentist that can do all of that.
No,
that should do all of that. He needs to get his hands in the patient's mouth. So for him to
come on, he or she.
Come on, right now.
Hi, Liana.
I know.
They can't do it. They need somebody else to get those things going for them.
Yeah. So not only that, like having a system in place that can be taught to the next team member that comes through the door. right? Having a set system that the team could be involved with as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
A handbook, a book of protocols,
Playbook.
something in the office. So if someone calls in sick, someone else is going to be able to step into their place for the day. And even though you're not going to be you're swimming to a destination, if you can just tread through the day, at the very least.
Yeah. And now how like with software and front end tools, there's a lot of like training behind that as well. So whatever practice management software you're using, or that recall software that runs alongside. So there's support there too. But there's a lack of it out there. So what are we discussing in this study club then?
Oh, well, we've had a couple guests come on. So if I can commit someone to come in, we had Patty Briggs on. I think she was in the first couple months when we started, and she was talking about having that office handbook and hiring processes and keeping the right team members. Yeah. We also had Melissa. She was from Ontario, and she was an IPAC specialist. She really knew infection control and things to do if you have an inspection come. So we talked about supporting our clinical team. And
are you having her back?
I can.
I get requests for that.
I can definitely have her back. I keep in touch with her. She was amazing, and it was funny because her power went out right before we were going virtual. So she ended up on her phone in her car. No, we made it work. She was amazing. Very committed, she is one of the. Sometimes you just meet people and you know that they're in the right profession and they love it. Yeah. That's Melissa. Yeah. And I would say her last name, but I'm going to butcher it, but it's Greek. And then we also had your consultant that you had, Bianca Dornan, come in, who I went out for dinner with before we had our study club, and I am her new best friend. Yeah. She's amazing.
Monica and Bianca is very like-minded.
Yes.
They operate in the same
philosophies.
Way.
Yeah.
So she's a consultant from Ontario and travels. So and then we'll have a discussion in the group.
On there?
Yes, we had the BCDA come and talk about services that they provide. So I think
they support dentists and CDAs and all staff members.
And then I've been in touch with the member assistance program, because I think there's programs out there that people don't know about. And I think that there's team members that don't know that if they need some counseling, if they're having stress and if their job's causing them stress, or their family, nutrition advice. There's a lot of things out there that team members can use as a resource, and it's available. So I was talking to them in the last week or two. I said,
just specifically dentistry.
So for dentists that are members of the BCDA, their team members can call. It's like a 1-800 number, 1-866 number, and they can talk to a counselor.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really cool.
And people don't know that. So I was reaching out to them and said, is there any flyers or any digital media stuff I can share with my group, or a speaker that can come and talk about it? So I always have this radar, and I'm looking for things like what is going to benefit the dental team, because part of my job, or what I feel my responsibility, is to share that information. So I'm always looking for things. So if there's somebody out there and they have something that's amazing, great, that's going to benefit dental offices, I want to hear about it.
Dentist on demand, but anyway. Just kidding. I'm not. So what are the top 3 common issues that you're running into or hearing about?
Personally, I think the biggest issue in an office, and this isn't specific to dentistry, is communication.
Yeah.
Communication is the cause of everything that goes
100%.
wrong.
Relationships, family, friends. Yeah. 100%.
The way you communicate, someone misinterprets it, or you don't communicate, and there's the lack of communication.
So you're saying drama is the number one issue.
It doesn't always have to be drama.
It can lead to drama.
It leads to it. Yeah.
It does. That for me, that's the key. If you can get your team to communicate well with your patients, with their team members, with referring offices, then you're on the right path.
And I think the foundation of that is having a system in place, so you have something confidently to communicate.
Yes, 100%.
Number two.
Wow, you put me on the spot here.
I know.
Discussed a lot this staffing and how to do engage your staff and maintain them and encourage them.
And connecting with people. I think connecting with people is really important too.
Yeah.
And
allowing yourself to be coachable.
Yeah, and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Quick sideline on that. Is there like, as we all know, there's a bit of a shortage of good people out there. Like, is there a pretty good pipeline of people? Is it coming out of schools? Is it like, how are people finding a good admin team these days?
In the sandwich shop, apparently.
Aside from the sandwich shop,
The sandwich shop. I think, I think you have a better chance of getting good team members if, like with JVR, if good people attract good people.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you have a toxic team, someone's going to pick up on that really quickly, and they're not going to stay, or they're not even going to try.
So this plays into team harmony, then, right? So
it's really important.
Team harmony is critical. You got a great team culture in the practice. You know what? And they all have friends, and it might be something as simple as saying, "Hey, you know what? Reach out to your friends and bring them in."
Some of the best hires that we've had at JVR Dental was existing colleagues that said, "Oh, I know somebody, or I can get in touch with somebody." And that's how we.
So it speaks to how critical that team harmony, like the dynamic in the office, is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to achieve.
It's huge, and just being emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Like
EQ.
Yeah. I think that's a factor too.
Yeah.
And it comes into good leadership. And part of good leadership is not telling people what to do, but guiding them and doing it as well.
And taking like the leadership taking responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and not I think if you a leader is so underrated. Like if there's no direction, everybody else tries to figure out what that direction is. Yeah. So you get a lot of mixing ideas. A good leader will allow the team to be a part of that vision and that idea, I think, too, so that it's a cohesive agreement.
Yeah.
So when I was running a business many years ago, and they were big on the word expectations. So I'm always a big believer that if you set the right expectations and you follow through and then follow up, to make sure that your expectations have been met, your team's expectations have been met, you're probably going to have a better chance at team harmony. Yeah. Is expectation still... The more you know. Thank you.
Public service announcement.
That's right, yeah.
You know, if you set expectations with your team. So my question is, like, is expectation still is that still the appropriate word? It's kind of a philosophical.
Yeah, we can go deep. Well, I can tell you one of the things I'm doing with one of the offices I'm working with is every morning I have them fill out a quick little piece of paper, and it asks them 3 questions. The first question is, what is my priority for the day? The second question is, what patient am I going to wow today? And the third question is, how am I going to support my team today? And then sometimes I get, do I really need to do this? And I said, this is how I want your brain to function today. So this is what I don't physically need you to write it down, but I need your brain to pay attention to those 3 things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want you to know what's the one thing I have to get done today. And I want you to be consciously aware of treating your team and your patients great.
And do that for 90 days straight, and it becomes a good habit.
And then at the end of the day, there's a bit of a review. Did I complete my priorities today? Did I connect with the patients? Did I connect with and support my team? And 1 to 10, how was my day? And then the last question is, what would make it better? What would make it more successful, or what made it successful? And so these are the things I'm wanting to have the team members think about, because I want them. You got to have an objective, and then you have to have a review and move forward.
That's so much more dynamic than, in my opinion. I think that setting expectations feels dated to me. That seems much more dynamic.
And I think too, like, not focusing on the negatives so much as the negatives are there. Everybody's aware of them. Let's focus on the positives. If we spend our energy, obviously we got to like learn from the negatives, but from that comes the positives. I think you should always focus on up.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Mauritz?
Yeah. Just back on the expectations, I think if you ask some of the dentists, what's your expectation for your office manager? I don't even think some of them can tell you.
Keep my schedule busy.
That's one challenge we
have. That's the number one I get.
Yeah. So if the dentist doesn't know what their office manager has to do or should do on a regular basis, I can guarantee you some of those office managers, like myself, this also doesn't know what to do. And I think this is where the study club was valuable to me. I was fortunate. I had Bianca as well to train me and on a very similar philosophy. But the study club is somewhere where either the dentist can send the office manager or the office manager can connect to and say, hey, this is a place where you can ask questions. We won't have all the answers. It's a safe place. We won't have all the answers, but we're a collective group that can help you to make your day better, more efficient, more productive. And you as an office manager will find more joy at your work, and then you will be able to support not only your dentist, but the rest of the team a lot better. Got it.
Oh, and that kind of plays into that was kind of my next question, is that we may have touched on it earlier, but I was going to say, was this kind of why you joined the study club? Was it, seeing that there was more of a dynamic conversation, that involved the admin team, the office manager portion of it, that said, you know what, there's more of a dialogue here. Yeah. It's a living, breathing entity. It's not just to set it and forget it. Yeah. It's a continual evolution. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and it's a place where you can say, hey, are you guys experiencing the same issues that I have? Or am I unique in all of this? And as soon as you start talking about it and say, oh, yeah, people have dealt with this before, and this is how they overcome it. Yeah.
So, and it's a place where you can support each other, because I don't think dental offices need to necessarily compete against each other. There's room for everyone to be successful. Yeah. So when we meet together, I'm breaking things.
Did you do a karate chop?
I did warn you something was going to fall over.
Oh, that.
I'm so sorry. I meant to put the screw back in the chair.
It's a weapon.
We're falling apart here, Dennis on a man.
It's all right.
I have to get that fixed. Sorry.
But just coming together and asking what's going really well, because Mauritz, you presented at one of our study clubs, because I asked every office manager, I said, what's going really well for your team? And you said your AR was great. Yeah. And so I said, perfect. Okay, next month you're talking to the group about how you did it. Yeah. Like, let's share our successes.
How did you do it? That's a pretty big problem.
Yeah. That's another segment.
Yeah. That's another hour.
No, for sure. But the just to support, because I'm very, very biased, because from a dental standpoint, I only know what we do at JVR Dental. I have no experience of how they do in other offices and what else they do. So I was curious to say, are we doing things as efficient as it should be? Or is there an easier way? Or can we do better? Mm-hmm. And that's when I met Monica and said, oh, this is nice. Here's a place where I can ask those questions.
Yeah. Do you want to learn with me?
Yeah.
Which is a great, a very welcoming way to phrase that, right?
I didn't sell the study club as, I know so much. Come to my club and you too will know so much. I definitely said, I'm not an expert in things, but I want to be an expert learner. I want to learn things. So let's learn together. Yeah. And let's invite other people who want to learn and see if there's ways to be more efficient, bring skills back to the team.
So have you found that folks have been pretty receptive and are like, is it growing?
It's growing, but it's slow. But I have a feeling it's going to just explode at some point.
Do you get into into some practices and they seem to be just complacent, and
there's a lot of complacency.
They just don't care anymore?
They're just
it's not up
9
to them?
to 5. I'm here for a paycheck. And I get that some people are like that. Yeah. And I get that there's a lot of people that want to enjoy their work, take pride, and see what's possible.
I think
there's market forces dictating that a little bit too, right?
Personally, I think, bringing this to the practice owner and saying that it's a resource, and then the practice owner bringing it to the team. I think you'd probably find a lot more uptick, a lot more support there, because I think there's a very there's just some folks out there that are there's I forget who was saying this, but they had some options. The front end staff had some options. They could either, I think it was for the holidays or something, they could get more time off without pay, a raise, and a couple other things. And the vast majority of them all chose to just not be at the practice.
Wow.
So I think that says a lot. I think there's
It's pretty telling, yeah.
there's a lot of animosity that needs to be cut through. And I think that all stems from the practice owner maybe not really considering the full scope of this and the importance of this. Just completely missing the boat on it. Like, maybe it's not like it's due to their, like, they've got bills to pay. They've got, like, they just want their team to take ownership of it's their job. They should be doing it. But really, they're the leader. They're looked to as being the leader in the practice. The empathy might be lacking for some of the folks out there, and that's what I've seen. So, I think it's a lot of put your ego aside. You've got human beings in here with things going on at home and juggling kids or whatever that might be. You're the leader. Take ownership of that. Lead your team. Take responsibility for that. You brought them into your business. Yeah. So
I wish I had a sound effect right now that I could hit you with. The more you know. No. I like the more you know the one better.
It reminds me of childhood.
Yeah. That was the wrong one. Anyways, so
so can I jump in real quick? So the question I have for you, so how is the study club currently structured?
So we meet once a month virtually online. So you can be anywhere. We had one person from Toronto in our group. And it's on a Friday afternoon at 1:00. Because I picked that because I'm like, some offices are closed on Fridays, or an office manager or administrative leader is welcome to join. We're 1 hour once a month, except for the summer and Christmas.
So 1 hour once a month on Friday afternoons, you said 1:00.
Yeah.
And then sort of getting the word out there, is it mostly through like digital campaigns? Like how are people finding out about the dental office manager study club?
Well, I've stopped cold calling people.
I was just going to say,
We're
it's
past
you.
that.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, it's us sharing it with people we know. And I work with a couple of specialty offices. So sometimes I'm in 100 general dentist offices visiting when I'm with the specialty clinic, representing them. And I'm like, oh, by the way, like, there's a study club if you want. And some people are like, oh, that's cool. But again, I need a salesperson because I'm not I'm not that person to sell it. But basically, whoever wants to join and learn and be part of something is welcome. We really don't say no to people.
Okay.
And then one thing we do about our study club what do I ask everyone every month?
Monica starts the study club with, what's your yay of the day?
Yeah. So I want to start something on the positivity note.
We start every meeting is started on a positive note.
Not like the yay, the ex formerly known as Kanye West.
No.
I'm going to sidestep that one right now.
Whoops. And I think the first thing that we did, the very first study club we had, I contacted all the dentists of the office managers. And I sent them an email and I said, your office manager is attending our first study club. Can you please email me a paragraph about what makes them such a great office manager?
Oh, what a good
so
idea,
the first meeting, I'm like, okay, I have a surprise for you guys. And I read everybody what their boss said about them. And so it started off feeling really good. And I wanted to kind of break the ice where everyone had a moment to shine so they'd feel comfortable sharing their story, right?
Yeah.
So
my dentist wasn't so kind to me.
She was very lovely.
Pick up the milk.
He never takes out the garbage.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
That's where I should have put that.
There it is.
There we go.
For anyone who's
but the rest
wondering what that joke is about.
The rest of them were like this.
But I just wanted to add something to what Mark said in terms of leadership. I think in our office, we are a bit of a unique role with Liana being the owner and I'm the office manager. I'm not in the owner position, but I do function a lot in that sort of leadership role. And that's really important. And Monica, one of the key goals for this study club is also to develop that leadership. Because regardless if they're admin personnel or they the dentist or the owner or whoever, leadership plays a big part in order to achieve any of this stuff that we're talking about.
Everywhere.
So leadership is a big thing.
And I think to add to that is that because you and Liana are a united front, it's like it doubles your horsepower. You know what I mean? Like there's two of you saying, here's the vision for the practice, and that's that's double the power. Like that's a powerful thing, right?
No,
So-
it counts in my favor a lot because although I'm equal to the rest of the staff, I do have a different say when I say things because I'm married to the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
It has a different sound to it whenever we talk about anything in the office. So
You have a higher chance of getting that procedure passed.
yeah.
Well, it's also like, you
But
know,
that's been to the success of the practice.
Yeah.
well, yeah, and it's to know its fault. It's if Leanna communicates something and it doesn't land on someone, and then you're saying it, maybe you're spinning it in a different way or a different tone, or if it's coming from two different people, you're hearing two different perspectives. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand when this person said, okay, it makes more sense, or vice versa, right? You said it, they didn't get it, and then Leanna said, oh, okay, I get it when Leanna says it. You know,
Yeah, that helps.
And if you have a goal or vision for your office, does your whole team know? Like, is the dentist communicating what their objectives are, what their mission statement is?
Yeah.
Because again, that's back to communication. If your team doesn't know what your objective or your goals are for the year,
What
how are you going to get there?
What are you rallying behind?
Yeah.
What's the common goal for everyone?
Yeah.
team huddles.
And again, like backtracking to getting a group of fellow colleagues together that might be from a different practice, I think the more information you could bring into a pool, into a collective, everybody benefits from that, no matter what walk of life you might be in.
The whole is greater than the sum of the
Yeah, like, and then the camaraderie that comes out of that too, like not feeling like you're on that island, right?
So to date, what I'd like to, I'm just gonna have a sound effect every time I
too,
talk.
like, no, that's for mine.
That's good.
It's late.
So just sort of as we're kind of we're creeping up on some time here, so I want to make sure we're getting through some of my notes here. So quick summary of some of the topics you've done in the past. I know we touched on them a little bit, so just maybe give me 2 or 3 of those topics, and then sort of how you see the study club evolving and creating more value for practices in the future.
We had a coach from Atlanta, Georgia, Tanya O'Neill, who I later hired as my personal coach. She talked about goals and habits, because sometimes the study club isn't dental related. It's just improving self.
Okay, that's cool.
And the goal for the study club is just to grow our membership, invite people, let people know it's an option, and if you want to join, or the dentist might want to send their office managers. It doesn't. It's basically an opportunity to improve.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why someone wouldn't want to. Sometimes I have members that are keen on coming, and it's the time that doesn't work for them. Or a lot of times I hear, oh, our receptionist or our CDA is sick. I'm stepping into the manager is going to step into the whatever role they need to play. So it seems like a lot of team members are calling in sick or not able to come in. So staff shortages is a problem.
Yeah.
One thing that as we get more into this now and get a little bit better every time we do this, the idea would be to plan it out ahead a little bit of what we wanted to achieve and to discuss at every meeting, so we can explain to the members, hey, this is the things that you can expect when you join.
So a curriculum.
And then if we get some traction on it and we connect with the right people, we can record some of the meetings and share that afterwards.
Well, let
so
us
that-
know if we can help. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're always looking for guests, people that have something to share.
We don't look. Yeah, we don't. But
We might know a few people.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think we're just wanting to create resources for practices to flourish.
Yeah.
So,
And now, we're building a curriculum now. Is that so? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to put that together.
It's
and
happening. Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to spend
It's
Christmas.
it's our Christmas break project.
Oh, fun.
So is that where the name came from?
Blossom. I thought of it laying in bed, trying to think of a name that I liked. It was feminine, and also it was like flourishing. It was growth. So, yeah, that's why I liked it.
Nice.
Practice is blossoming. I
Yeah.
like that. It's a good word.
I like it. Oh, were you looking at me for a sound effect?
That was my. It's a good word.
What's it? Oh, here.
That's not what I was thinking.
That's too much.
Do you mind if I read? Because you have a bit of a purpose statement.
Yeah.
Here. Do you mind if I read that?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so to establish a community of peers for dental office administrators and managers where they are presented and represented. Excuse me, I can read. Represented and supported to generate opportunities for continuing education and provide access to practical resources whereby they can experience growth and success within their profession and practice.
That's it.
That's great.
That's when I put pen to paper.
Yeah.
So, do you have a one today, or when's your next one?
Our next one is the last Friday in January.
Okay, so you've already had this month's.
We didn't do December. We did November.
Yeah.
So we take a break.
Got it. Do you have any guests lined up that you?
I have ones in
Excited.
mind that I'm going to be asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is great. Is there anything else you can tell us
Anything-
about the
Yeah,
study
you got
club?
this
or-
Else we
giant
haven't
books. Is there anything from your book here that you'd like to share?
No,
All
we
that
don't need to
fabulous
crack the.
notes.
Yeah, that's my notes about every little thing.
Oh, you didn't know you were going to be here for 2 hours today?
No,
It's been 2 hours, has it?
we've hit the quarter mark.
Oh my goodness.
Kidding.
No, I just think everyone has something to share. Everyone's an expert in something. So I'm just about connecting with people, bringing them together, and learning and growing, and that's what life is, right?
Yeah, and you're giving them a place to do that. So I think that's
A platform.
Very
a
safe
platform,
environment.
and that hasn't existed. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that was my vision, is to create a place for my peers and people that I wanted to connect with together. So we wanted to, my goal is to support administrators and give them every tool that they need so they can be successful. I want people to look forward to Monday mornings.
Okay, so we've got some people that want to be a part of this. Who do they contact?
Who do they contact?
Yeah.
There is a sign up on blossomdentalconsulting.com.
Okay, cool.
And we have a Facebook group.
We do have a Facebook group, so you can ask to join it. If you put in I'm trying to think if I have the. I'll have to put it on my website, the Facebook group. But I'll if.
Well, you can
people-
just search like Blossom Dental
you can
Consulting on Facebook.
Search for Blossom Dental Consulting on Facebook.
Okay.
But I can't think of what the
Yeah. I can't
Yes.
off the top of my head.
Oh no! There we go. That's where I need to open my book and get my
one
notes.
job.
I know, one job, and I'm failing.
We kind of jumped on you there. Did you want to say something earlier, Mauritz, that we cut you off on?
No, I think this would be a really good group to discuss. We are flexible in the sense that I keep my eye on what the challenges is that they discuss in social media. I know recently there's a few data that said I need insurance training for my admin personnel.
Yeah, because you guys are really plugged in because you're dialed into all the Facebook pages.
Yeah, so
the
we try to.
community ones.
I said to Monica, maybe we should look into that and say if we can get somebody that can present it, or from our own
Come up with a
experience.
program.
Yeah, come up with a program from our own experience that we have, and say, okay, this is about insurance, the basics that we think you should know.
Mhm.
And if there's other challenges that come up through the year, then we're willing to address and discuss that.
We want to hear what the dentist or office manager challenges are, so we can find a way of coming up with solutions.
Yeah.
See, I like that. It's like because you're the practical. You're like, we're doing it. We're executing on this, and then you're bringing the background and the expertise to say, you know what, and you're also being flexible enough to say we can respond
To the needs.
to the needs like
Yeah.
on demand.
Yes. Plug for you.
Like
that?
Just like that.
That was so unintentional. I just looked behind you and went, ooh, on demand. But no, I think it's a really, I don't, it seems like it's a unique thing. I don't see many people in the industry sort of having like an on-demand study club type of environment like the one you're creating.
Yeah. If something doesn't exist and there's a need for it, it's like almost a responsibility to create it.
Right.
Yeah.
On an admin side. I mean,
love
on the
that,
clinical side, I think
There's lots of
there's
things.
lots of that
Yeah.
happening. Right.
I felt neglected as an administrator. I'm like, I need a little bit more.
Well,
Support.
good for you for
Well, I
stepping
think-
up to the plate.
Yeah,
It's
I think what
awesome.
you're doing is great.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's, I mean, the courage it takes to pick up the phone and start, saying, that call you made to Mauritz and saying,
I know.
it's
The
let's do this.
keener right from the beginning.
There are
Thank
good
goodness.
people out there. It's
Yeah.
true. Right?
But it's
Yeah.
like, and I say that, as a sales representative, as someone who's been on both sides of the business, and it's hard to pick up the phone. It's hard to ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like, okay, you gotta believe in what you have. You're like, I have something amazing. Now it's time to go out there and put my hat on and say, you know what, I believe in this, and get that message across.
And a lot of it too is timing.
Yeah, I have been
Very
rejected a
true.
few times. It just
Yeah.
it was a
Thick
it was
skin, right?
you know what it you just keep on going. It's consistency that's going to get you there.
They're evolving. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Anything else?
We want to thank you guys for letting us come and talk about our passion and what we're doing out in the dental industry. But we invite your audience to connect with us, because that's
For sure.
how
We'll
we
put
get there.
your details on. We'll put the details on this.
Tyler will send it out in smoke signals.
I'll find that Facebook page, that lone Facebook page we have.
Mark laughs at my lack of technology prowess, but we will put all the right connections on there for you. Addresses, Facebook, you name it. And by all means, reach out to Monica, Mauritz.
Yeah.
Get in touch with the study club. It sounds fantastic, I think. And like you said, so people can reach out to you and say, hey, we want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
One quick question. CE credits?
I looked into doing that,
Okay.
and it is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, but front end doesn't need
They don't-
CE continuing
they
education
don't need
credits.
it.
Okay.
But
require it,
sometimes the office manager is the CDA is looking for
gotcha.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is possible.
And I ask because I do get asked quite often, where can I get some? I need some credits like by tonight. Where can I get those? Right. So sometimes it's good to say, hey, you know what? You can get a couple points over here.
Send them to me. I got it. Okay.
Mauritz, Monica, thank you so much for being on with us today. It's been super enlightening, and it's been just fun having you.
No, thanks.
Thank you.
In a year, we can do this again, and then we can talk about the success of our study club. Just keep
Yeah.
on growing and growing.
That's
Absolutely.
You'll be too busy for us.
Never.
Remember
No.
when we hung out with those idiots in the basement?
It's those basement trollers.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
That is it for today. So
Wow.
everyone have a great day.
Yeah, thank
we're
you.
done. Yeah. For now, we're signing off from Dance on Demand.